I'm Christopher Mulligan, Clinical Director and Founder of GroupWorks West. Today's video, we're going to talk about how we measure progress, success in our groups that are focusing on autistic spectrum, children, teens, and young adults. First, we look for progress in the area of object-focused attention. What we want to see is a decrease in communication, discussion on objects, procedures, and activities. Kids come to us typically with areas of special interest. They're highly focused on those areas. They come into group talking about those areas. So if we don't see a shift in a decrease in object-focused attention and discussion, then we're clearly not making headway. So attention, discussion in the area of object-focused areas of special interest. We also want to decrease adult-directed discussion and conversation. This is particularly relevant to kids who have been diagnosed with high-functioning autism or Asperger's syndrome. They're extremely comfortable in discussion with adults, and they will seek out adult group leaders and engage with them rather than with their peers. They do that because adults are more flexible, adults will make accommodations, and adults will listen to lectures, monologues, and will have difficulty setting limits. Their peers will not tolerate the nature of their discussion, the monologues and the lectures, and will break away. So they will seek out the comfort of an adult. So one way we know we're doing our job is if when kids come into group, they don't seek out a group leader and launch into what has happened during their week and talk about areas of special interest and objects of special interest. They are peer focused and directed in conversation towards their peer group. Now, when group members come to us, they have a very difficult time identifying what are the unique attributes of the people in their environment. They don't really pay attention to the unique parts of different people, their qualities. Are they generous? Do they have a good sense of humor? Are they interesting? What do they like to do? Where do they live? Where are they from? What's their family like? They don't log, they don't have memory of the unique attributes of those around them. So we want to see an increase in the interest in those attributes and in the memories of those attributes. We have seen kids come in absolutely locked and focused on objects and procedures, and over time begin to take an interest in the attributes and qualities of those around them in the group, and then actually begin to create sustainable memories of those attributes. They begin to really understand and appreciate who's in the group with them. Now, many kids come to group very reluctant, embarrassed. Why am I in a group? Other kids in the group are not going to be like me, and they're struggling with the idea of even being part of the group. And it points out one of their greatest vulnerabilities, which is they don't have friends in their community. So coming to group reminds them of that, so that's a hurdle to get over in all cases. So one of the ways we know we're getting over that hurdle is if we see an increase in motivation to be in the group. We can see that when they come in the door as time goes on, and they become more and more comfortable and more interested in what is the group doing today? What are we doing? And they begin to lose any sense of embarrassment, any sense of that they shouldn't be there, they don't want to be there, and they really begin to be absorbed in the culture of the group. Very, very important. As a related progress and objective is the expectation that relationships will give them greater pleasure than solitary activities. When we meet kids and teens and young adults for the first time, most of them have the expectation that solitary activities will be their greatest source of pleasure. And unfortunately, most of those solitary activities involve electronic entertainment. Sometimes it's books, sometimes it's objects, but whatever it is, it's them by themselves engaged in something that is giving them pleasure, but it's producing high degrees of social isolation and producing avoidance of people and situations outside in the world. So we've really hit a home run when the expectation is that the group and the members in the group will deliver more pleasure, more enjoyment, more fun than the solitary activities in their lives. And if this doesn't happen, if this shift doesn't happen, then the group isn't working and didn't work. Kids leave and their memory isn't that the group and the kids in the group are more enjoyable, more pleasurable than any solitary activity, then we haven't accomplished our primary goal. Lastly, we want to see an increase in self-awareness. In our groups, particularly the teen groups, we talk very openly about what their challenges are and what their strengths are. And that's very difficult when kids first come in. It's hard. They're not used to it. And they're not used to doing it in a group if they're doing it at all. So we really, really put a priority on self-awareness. And we talk candidly and openly about challenges. We get information from families about what those challenges are week to week. And we really problem solve and work on that. But what we're really focusing on isn't solving any given problem, but developing a greater sense of self-awareness and also self-acceptance. Who am I? What am I like? What are my strengths? What are my deficits? And how can I move forward in my life in ways that are meaningful to me and to those around me? So these are the ways that we measure success within our groups that focus on autistic spectrum, children, teens, and young adults. All these really are parallel in each of those age groups in different ways, but it's the same criteria whether you're 4 or whether you're 34, because the core deficits of autism are encompassed in these objectives. Thanks.